Reading from the Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta, Book 2, Chapter 2, Text 234. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Śrī-bhagavān uvāca. Nija-priya-tamāṁ yāhi māthurīṁ tam vraja-kṣitim tat-tan-mat-parama-krīḍā sthaly-āvali-vibhūṣitām. The Blessed Lord said, "Go to Mathurā, to your dearest pasturing grounds, to the Lord, the land adorned with many places of my varied supreme pastimes." Purport. The rasa dance and the other pastimes Sri Krishna performs in vraja are the most exalted of the Supreme Lord's activities. Those pastimes take place on earth, and therefore vraja is much greater than Brahmaloka. Om jnana-timirandasya gananjana shalakaya chaksur unmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sa Padantikam Vansha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivas Adi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So greetings from Govardhan. So let's cover this thing with Gop Kumar. Is very, very intriguing. I'm studying it deeply with Dhanurdhara Swami every day. And we hit on a very interesting realization today. If you go back to the beginning, Sanatana Goswami in the first verse indicates the theme of the book. Parama Dashantim. We've said this many times, but I haven't said it in a while. Parama, the top. Dasha, stage, Antim. This is what Lord Chaitanya's mission is. Anarpita, Churim Charat, Kunanaya Bhatirna Kalo Samarpiyatam, Unatoj Vala Rasam Subhakti Swayam. To give this topmost stage. And he indicated that in the first book, Bhagavad Kripa Sar, where Narada found that those who had the essence, Bhagavad Kripa Sar, of the Lord's mercy, or were the topmost recipients of Bhagavan's mercy, were the gopis, and those that have been following with me. You remember how intriguing and how wonderful that was presented. And then Mother Uttara, hearing that, wanted to hear about the place where that love was found, which would also be the highest place, because there's a correspondence between, especially in the spiritual world where it's perfect, with the desire one wants to enjoy and the place one makes to facilitate it. So Krishna's determination is an absolute fact. So when he wants to enjoy the highest love, he manifests the perfect facility to do so. So she wants to really know about that. And it's told in the story of Gop Kishore. I don't want to go over to the Gop Kumar. I don't want to go over the whole thing that we went before, but he's going to different places. And the interesting thing that we were discussing with Niranjan Swami today is that even though he goes to particular places progressively one after another, it so clearly presents Braja Bhakti, because Gop Kumar, who has faith in that, not an intellectual understanding, he's looking for the personification of his mantra. And he's looking for that, and each place which has some real element of perfection does not satisfy him, because Vishya Vinivartante Niraharasya Dehana Vasorajam Rasopra, because he has a higher taste. That's his faith. And we'll go there. I was blown away by the description of Vaikuntha. Gop Kumar is just at the gate of Vaikuntha. And there's these descriptions, both in the verses and the commentaries, that it's almost an offense to describe the opulence of Vaikuntha, because words and analogies will fail miserably to describe that level of greatness. So you get that kind of description, both in terms of the opulence that is manifest and the consciousness of the people who are there, who somehow or other enjoy the top opulence, but purely. So how do you enjoy purely? You experience something in terms of the happiness it gives another, without any personal desire yourself. And I give a simple analogy. A loving mother who's a great cook, cooks for the family, cooks for the guests, cooks for her children. And her pleasure is their happiness. That's bhakti. Their pleasure is their happiness. And therefore she tastes things with the conception of love, how the other person is enjoying it. And it's very, very difficult to understand the spiritual reality. I had a long discussion with some devotee today about, when we read in Prabhupada's books, I've another class, I've been doing the Venu Gita, and it's all about these gopis who want Krishna's lips. They're envious of the flute, the Venu Gita, the song about the flute. They're envious of the flute because it has the nectar of Krishna's lips. There's even what I found almost a humorous part. They say, well, the Venu flute is particularly male, and you're male, Krishna. This is impudent. We deserve that. We're gopis, but what you have to understand is in the spiritual world, anya-bilashita shunyam, right in the beginning of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, that pure bhakti, uttama bhakti, anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhakti. Uttama bhakti is free from any selfish desire. So there's conjugal relationships with Krishna, but it's not material. And therefore, our acharyas sometimes try to distance ourselves a little bit from dwelling on those pastimes, because our only frame of reference is kama, or lust. And it's very hard for us to conceive or understand those type of relationships that are pure and there's no lust. Therefore, even with the Rupa Goswami explains in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that kama-nuga bhakti, of course, kama doesn't mean lust, it means a kama rupa, it means the form of lust, not the consciousness of lust, but we have to use the words which completely fail us. That's what is described, we'll be discussing in this 4th chapter. Words completely fail us, but we have to use them. So when it describes rubies, diamonds, rings, and it describes that in the spiritual world. The residents of Vaikuntha, when they're explaining to Gop Kumar, they say, we feel it's an offense. But these are the only words we have to describe it. This is the only words we have to describe it. So, that prema, and so there's 2 types of kama rup. There's tat-tan-mat-parama-krīḍā and sambhog-ichamayi. Sambhog means direct contact with Krishna, but even tat-tan-mat-parama-krīḍā, which is enjoying being more attached to Radharani than even Krishna. But even that, it describes in Ramananda Samvad that there's some that gives direct contact, gives Radharani pleasure more than her own, because she loves the gopi, she loves her assistants. But it's not fit within the framework of our material conceptions of these things. Anyway, we're following Gop Kumar. So what was so beautiful about that Vaikuntha, because it's presenting Vraja Bhakti, because it's comparing it through the journey of Gop Kumar to every other type of experience, material and spiritual. And it cannot compare to Brahmanda Brahmate Konya Bhagavan Jeev Guru Krishna Pasadi Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. It cannot compare to the seed of devotion. It cannot compare to the bhakti, to prema bhakti, to vraja bhakti. So anyway, Gopkumar, he reaches the top planet, Brahmaloka. He hears about liberation from the Bhakti Shastras, who explain elaborately how impersonal liberation, it's static. You reach a point of satisfaction. Equanimity, Brahmabhuta Pasanatma, Nasochati, Nakanchati. But it doesn't go further than that. And bhakti is the highest limit of happiness, which means it can always increase without contradiction. And after explaining this, then we spent the point, okay, then they say, but we'll give us a Mahakalapur, and why go there? Above the material universe, before you get to Vaikuntha, this Mahakala, they say, you will see the image of God there even more, even though it's a place of merging, that's a perspective. Because there's one absolute reality, Advayam Gyan, Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan Iti Shabdate, Vedanta Tat, Tattva Vidas, Tattva Yaj Gyanam Advayam. There's one absolute reality, and for the devotees, they will see Brahma Roop, they will see the form of that, of God. The reason they're presenting it, but then they say, we'll tell you some secret, and then they describe, you can travel beyond the universe to Mahakalapur. And the point that's being made, and it's going to, I'm reading these verses again because it'll come out in these verses, is that because his ambitions, his desires are not fulfilled. He has that Vraja Bhakti, but he has other experiences and desires, and you have to be purified of them before you can transcend Mahakalapur and go to Vaikuntha. You have to be purified of those desires. So Gopkumar is also setting the example of bhakti carrying one further, but you have to anya-bilashi tashranyam, you have to give up other desires. Either in your heart directly or by an understanding that this is not what you want. So, somehow or other, he's thinking, well, because tell Mahakalapur, somehow you could see God there in its own way, even though it's a place of merging, somehow that's there. That he says, well, why should I leave, go in? Then he says, if you're in Brahmaloka, you live so long, but if you want to expedite the process, then go to Braj. But he's thinking, well, I'm hearing about bhakti and everything, and I'm being convinced, and I'm right here on Brahmaloka with this relationship with Lord Brahma, with Mahapurush or Vishnu. Another point that came up with my discussion with Niranjan Swami today that was fascinating is that oh boy, it skipped my mind. This is at the end of my day here. It'll come back. Anyway, he tells him to go to the earth and you'll meet your guru, and then you'll be educated and he'll enlighten you in a way that you'll be qualified for higher attainments, and you'll be able to achieve liberation. And liberation for the Vaishnava is described in the second canto of the Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam is the answer to all questions. There's 10 subject matters. The 9th subject matter is liberation. Muktir hidva yata rupam sarupena vivastita. It's giving up our external, false, temporary identity, and not just giving that up, but accepting sarupena vivastita, being situated in our own sarup. So now let's just go to the verse we're up today. Let's say, therefore go to Mathurā, to your dearest pasturing grounds, the land adorned with many places of my varied supreme pastimes. So this is much greater than Brahmaloka, and even Lord Brahma, when he stole the cowboys and calves, the cowboys and the calves, he realized that. And greater means a more full revelation of the absolute reality, the Bhagavad Kripasar, the real essence, the Akila Rasamrita Murti, the embodiment of all relationships. So, and there are 4 characteristics of realization of Krishna, of that one absolute reality, the fullest revelation that's not experienced even when God is manifest as Narayan, is Rupa Madhurya. His form is so much beautiful. Baharpidam, Natavara, Vapu, Karnio, Karnikaryam, Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta, Kanikakapisam, Vaijayanti Samalam, beautiful, threefold, and Prema Madhurya. One second. Lila Madhurya. Rupa, Lila, Prema. He has the most beautiful form. He has the greatest variety of loving relationships, and therefore the most varied pastimes. And therefore the full revelation of his heart, which comes from his expressing his love and amplifying his love fully for the devotees to experience in the form of the sound that his flute makes. And we describe this, that kirtan, sound, it carries something very subtle. It carries one's emotions, or it may not carry. The same sound will be there, but it can carry different emotions. So when Krishna plays his flute, it carries the full revelation and expression of his heart in the most intimate way. So he's saying, go there. You'll see me there at home with my guard down in the full. So please, you go there. Yasyam śrī-bhagavān Trinajanma biyachite parivrite piyadirga kalirajati tadrisi. Though a long time has passed since Lord Brahma himself prayed, this is Vishnu telling him on Brahmalok, prayed for birth as a blade of grass in Braja, that land now appears the same as it was before. I'm here in Govardhan, and it's changing externally, but internally it's not changing. There is really something extraordinary. I'm pinching myself as I'm sitting here on the side of Govardhan Hill. I'm pinching myself. There's something here that's extraordinary. Gopkumar may doubt whether he should leave Lord Mahapurush after having attained him in Brahmaloka, the highest destination in this world. The Lord answers that to gain the unique ecstasy of meeting him in a special place, going elsewhere is right. Brahma himself prayed to be born in Vraja even as a blade of grass. Residing in Vraja is therefore even better than holding the position of Brahma, the highest seat of universal authority. He has that position now. But Gopkumar may have a further doubt. In the time he's been living on the higher planets, where 1 year equals many lifetimes on earth, Vraja may have changed so much that it may no longer be attractive. The Lord assures him, however, that Vraja is the same place as when he saw it last. Being unaffected by the decaying power of time is another way that Vraja is greater than Brahmaloka. So he's telling him it's not going to change. There you will again meet your guru, most dear to me, and by his mercy you will be empowered to understand everything in full. Because he doesn't have this nitaram gyayasi, by kripa, by his mercy, you will get nitaram, complete gyayasi, your complete understanding. And because he doesn't have that understanding, he's not able to directly fulfill the desire of his heart because he becomes distracted. Purport, Gopkumar may object that in Vrajabhumi there will be no one to advise him, whereas in Brahmaloka, Lord Mahapurush is at his side to mercifully inform him of everything he should do. But the Lord assures him that in Vraja he will meet again the great Vaishnavas who initiated him into the chanting of his mantra. Because that guru is a very dear devotee of the Lord, Gopkumar can expect to learn from him, from the guru, even more about devotional service than from the Lord himself. This is almost like an interesting point in Vaishnava philosophy, that bhakti is in the heart of the devotee, and therefore that you have to get bhakti from the devotee, and it's the devotee who has realized it. Thus, Mahapurush emphatically uses the word swayam, everything, nitaram, completely, and swayam, by your own power. Mahakala pare samyag mam ev. Indeed, you will soon see me in person in Mahakalapur. There you will again attain extreme bliss that will enchant your heart. Mahakalapur, the abode of Mukti, is also the residence of Lord Mahakal. But Lord Mahapurush on Brahmalok is non-different from Lord Mahakal. Why then even bother to go? Why not stay in Brahmaloka? The answer given here is that in Mahakalapur, Gopkumar will realize the Lord even more fully, and his heart will be filled with even greater ecstasy. So there's one God, there's one person, we're all one person, and different people appreciate us in different ways. And if someone's a very beautiful person, the deeper you have an intimate relationship with that person, the more you will experience the joy of communion with that person. By the power of my mercy, you will wander about freely and enter into hundreds of amazing wonders. So, Gopkumar wants simply to enjoy with his Lord in Sri Vrindavan, but as Lord Mahapurush is about to explain, that will happen in due course. This is the point. Meanwhile, after a brief visit to Braja, Gopkumar will continue his journey through the 8 coverings of the universe to the abode of liberation and to Sri Vaikuntha and beyond, fulfilling his various desires. Fulfilling those desires in a way that they can be given up. If you deal with your desires properly, you can enjoy them and renounce them. That's why generally our desires are regulated by the Shastra, and it has 2 effects. One, when you regulate them, I explained this point many times, when you regulate your desires, you satisfy them, but because they're regulated, you're also renouncing them. So this enjoyment and renouncement, the enjoyment and renunciation of desire at the same time enables you to transcend it. Where just the enjoyment of the desire without regulating it doesn't allow you to transcend it, and the renunciation of the desire prematurely doesn't enable you to transcend it because you meditated on it more. So this is the basic concept. I think it has relevance to us. We have to become free of our desires. And we follow the Shastra and how to do that. After some time, my dear son, all your ambitions will be satisfied and you will play with me as you like in Vrindavan. Your ambitions will be fulfilled. Paripurna, filled. Artika, your desires will be fulfilled. And then in Vrindavan, Kridishyasi, you will play with me. Nija-icha, according to Nija, your own desires, your own heart, you'll be able. Purport, Gopkumar need not worry that these wanderings will continue for long. Soon enough, he will reach his final words, Putra, dear son. The Lord is affectionate to him, will ensure him that everything promised comes true. Gopkumar will at last achieve the association of Sri Madan Gopal Dev and Goloka Vrindavan, both on earth and in the spiritual world. So here, this is the objective. He has the mantra, he has the object of the mantra, and the fulfillment of the mantra is the full revelation of that person before one in direct association. And to do that, to be purified, just like the Bhagavatam, there's 9 cantos before the 10th, to purify of our desires and free us of our misconception. So this is what's happening with Gopkumar. He has to become free from all desires and misconceptions. To become free from the misconceptions, you have to be educated. To become free from the desires, you have to, 2 things, to become free from your desires, you have to experience a higher taste, and you have to satisfy them to a degree that you can renounce them. So Gopkumar said, Sri Gopkumar, thus overcome both with joy and sorrow in the Lord's command, by the power of my mind I at once came to this beautiful Vrindavan. So there's another thing here that on the highest level, our separation from places is our faith or our mind. and not a physical distance. So now we're going to go, and we'll have some time today to go on to the third chapter, bhajan worship. Shri Gopkumar uvāca brahmalokādimam prithvim agacham drishtavanaham purvam yatra yadasitam gandopi asti kutrachit. Gopkumar said, when I came from Brahmaloka to earth, I saw that nowhere was there even a hint of the way things have been before. So this is before he's come to the earth. He's not talking about Vrindavan. And the previous chapter, Gopkumar, it says in this chapter, he'll cross the 8 coverings of the universe and enter the abode of Mukti. There in the presence of Lord Shiva, servants of Lord Vaikuntha explained to him the characteristic of pure devotional service. Gopkumar first returns to Mathura Mandala, where the truth of the Supreme Lord's words is shown to him. The Lord had declared that Mathura is never disturbed by the influence of time, and now Gopkumar sees this for himself. While they had been away on the higher planets, the rest of the earth had completely changed, and not a trace remained of the demigods, humans, and other creatures who had seen before. Param Srimatarat Tadrik, Vanadri Sarid Anvita, Virajate Yata Purvam, Tadrishir Jangamai. Only Sri Mathura district looked just as it had, with the same forests, mountains, rivers filled with the same moving creatures. So it's the same. Agyan Bhagavata Smitva Brahman Vrindavanantare Andvishya Kunje Trapasyam Swagurum Prema Murchitam. Remembering the Supreme Lord's order, I wandered through Vrindavan. When I entered this very same grove, I saw my spiritual master unconscious in the trance of ecstatic love. So he remembers that Lord Mahapurush, Mahavishnu, told him, go to Vrindavan, there you'll find your beloved spiritual master. Piyasai bahubaswastyam nitosal vrikshamam nitam parirebe tisarvagya babubhe manmanoritam. With great endeavor, I brought that all-knowing sage back to normal, and when he saw me bowing down before me, at once he embraced me, understanding my heart. So the spiritual master understood, this is from the purport, that Gopkumar wanted to understand how I can get to the abode of liberation. And he understood he needed to enter there and understand there, and like every other place, transcend it. So you experience it and you find out that this is really not what your heart wants. He's just trying to find that desire he had. And in Ragvartman Chandrika it says, when you enter Raganuga Bhakti, the first thing is to have that lobha-mayi, that desire to serve Krishna in a particular way. We all should desire this, to have real bhakti, not just an understanding, but an attraction that's so strong that no one can tell you it's not real. If you actually, well, people can tell you it's real because sometimes it's not. But sincere person will understand, yes, this is a real desire. So for him, he just doesn't have enough understanding to where to find the fulfillment of that desire. That's one thing. And the second thing is, he has other desires that evidently are kind of preventing him from ultimately fulfilling the the fruit of his heart. Snatva swadata mantrasya janadi vidam udisham kanchid mukena kinchitcha sakintena babedayat. He bathed and then taught me various rules for worshiping and meditating on the mantra he had given. Some of these instructions he spoke, and other he gave through gestures. So this guru is is overflowing with prema, and it says his face was soiled and saliva, mucus, and tears. So the inspiration is heart. This is my disciple. I have to teach him now the details. You remember, initially, when he initiated Gop Kumar, he went into a trance and disappeared, and wasn't able to fully instruct him. So now he's going to instruct him on how to worship the mantra, which wasn't given the first time, and how to meditate, and how to apply the syllables of the mantra to different parts of one's body, and how to use appropriate hand gestures, and all the details of worship. And some he taught verbally, such as touching the body while chanting, and other methods he taught by pointing, and how to meditate on the Lord's personal form by pointing and giving indications. And some were given non-verbally because he was afraid if he explained them, it would invoke a remembrance in him that was so powerful that it would ignite his prema and he would lose his composure. And he wouldn't be able to fulfill his duty to this disciple to instruct him. We know when Gadadhar went to see Pundarik Vidyanidhi, they told him that Pundarik was such a high devotee, and he was a little bit confused initially because he was surrounded by such opulence. But soon as a verse was chanted, I'm not sure which verse, maybe it was Tapakatamritam tapta jivanam kavibhya kalmasam shrimadiditam Tapakatamritam tapta jivanam kamas. Some verse was chanted, Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta natavarabapu. As soon as he heard it, he just fell apart. Or Krishna's servant, Dharuka, in Dwarka. He's fanning Krishna, and he has to control his ecstasy. He has to control his ecstasy, because then he won't be able to do his service. Jagadacha nijam sarvam idam prashtayate datam sarvame tat-prabhavena swayam gyayasi lapsyasi. He then said, because you were very dear to me, I've now given you everything I possess. By the power of this mantra, you will understand and attain everything on your own. So that's also a fact, that within the mantra is everything we need to know, but to chant it properly, we need some understanding on how to live. We need some understanding of the mantra. But if we can concentrate and we can hear and we can focus on the mantra, then everything will be given. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Priyojita Janayat Yasu Vairagyam Jnana Chayata Hoitakam. Everything will be given. Tesham Satatayuktanam Bhajatam Priti Purvakam Dadami Bodhiyogam Tam. Want to worship me, faith and to work. I give them everything. Everything is about chanting this mantra. And kaler doshe nidhe rajan, eko asti mahagunan, kirtanat eva krishnasya mukta sangam. Everything, mukta sangam, liberation, everything comes. Nama chintamani Krishna, Chaitanya rasa vigraha, Shuddha porno nitya mukta, binatvam nami namano, binatvam nami namano. The name and what is being named, Bina, there's no difference. Nama chintamani Krishna, it's a desire, it will fulfill all your desires. Nama chintamani Chaitanya rasa vigraha, it's the form of all life, of pleasure. Shuddha porno, nitya mukta. Shuddha porno, it's complete, it's pure. Nitya, it's eternally liberated, it's non-different. I've given you everything. By the power of this mantra, you will understand and attain everything on your own. Harshena mahatatasya padayo patite mayi santahita ivagachad yatra kutra ilakshitam. With great joy I fell at his feet, and then all at once he was gone. He had gone elsewhere unnoticed. I tried hard to calm my mind, which was pained by his departure, and I reverently began to chant my mantra as instructed. Chanting of a mantra that worships the Supreme Lord should result in liberation, even if the chanting is done irregularly. Still, if one wants to reach liberation easily without delay, one should chant according to the rules and regulations given by the spiritual master. I then saw my body change into a form transcendental to the 5 material elements, and I traveled upwards, breaking through the sphere of the sun, and I saw all the planetary systems. Okay, Jamunajaya, you still there?
Yes, Raj, I'm still there. Just about. Wow, I long to see what the next journey is going to be, but I really,
It's
I mean, you
exciting.
said, yeah, it really is exciting. It's like where I really like the point, and you've made it many times about the satisfaction of desires, because without the satisfying in the right way, and it's just making me so grateful for Srila Prabhupada that he gave us so many practices and so many things that can satisfy like the senses. You make the garlands for the deities, you do all the things for the deities, thus satisfying, and even like the morning program. And as you were saying it, that we have these ways that can satisfy desires in the right way so we can transcend them. So it was really making sense to me and really making me so appreciative of all the practices that Srila Prabhupada gave us to follow.
Beautiful point. Beautiful point. Challenging a bit, living in the Ugra karma of the cities, but we have to
Yeah.
make our sacred space. He was hoping eventually we could have our own communities.
Mm.
You walk across the street and there are devotees and there's, living self-sufficiently and things like that. That was part of his mission. Prabhupada saw our struggle.
Mm. Yeah.
But somehow we're a little slow in taking it up. And, I had a godbrother, Tejas, who Prabhupada told him to start the Kisan movement, the farm movement. And Tejas was literally a genius. And he went to Boston, he stayed there for a while, and he read every book on self-sufficiency and modern economics. He knew more about real economics. Our economic system doesn't work. We can see that. Some people get the money, some people don't, or then, they do the opposite, and the government has all the money. It just, there's all these plans. Now there'll be new this, new mayor, new this, that doesn't work, this doesn't work. We don't know economics. There's real economics. He knew real economics so well. And he said one of the problems with the farm communities, a lot of them failed, is that devotees were conditioned to a false standard of opulence.
Mm.
The real opulence is community, family, self-sustaining, air, but we're so, and even more so, even if you go to the farm communities, you got your little phone
Yes.
that brings the world into you. So like Priyanalpa Yashashubha Kalabas Min Yugajana Manda, Kali Yuga and its forces. And I guess it's all meant to just make us eventually throw our hands up and surrender. You can't surrender in the past, you can't surrender in the future, you have to surrender now.
Wow.
And yeah. Okay,
Thank
thanks.
you, Raj.
Thank you. Always nice to see you every week at the class. I can't speak unless people are there. I see the steady people that are there. I'm very
Mm.
appreciative. That means that
Right.
some people are listening, they can't come at the time. But you have to hear. You have to hear from your guru, you have to hear from Prabhupada, you have to hear from the Vaishnavas you respect. There's no other way we're going to be enlivened with transcendental knowledge and change our lives. And some people evidently don't realize this yet, but
Mm.
have to suffer. Okay, Gail, what's up, Gail?
Hi,
I'm going
Krishna
to see.
Maharaj.
There was a few blips in my logic, and I was terrified that Gail was going to catch me. Let's see
And
if you
I
caught
kept, no, I missed them all, Maharaj. I missed them all. So
me.
just a couple comments. I do have one question, but when you said about your staying there in Govardhan, you said you have to pinch yourself. Somehow that really, I mean, I know how much you love it in Govardhan, but when you said that, it really sunk in how dreamy or how fantastical it must be to be there.
You have to really
You have to go there, I know, but
not
you
only
know,
go
but
there, but you have. I mean, I'm in like right now. Actually, there's no one in the ashram right now. Actually, Savyasachi came back, but I'm alone, and I wake up and I have the whole day. But actually, it's so interesting. I have the whole day just for chanting and things like that. So it's really kind of has a special flavor. But it's so interesting. I just meet friends here. So there's this one filmmaker here and his wife, and you wouldn't expect them to be here, you know. Even they dress like they're not here. But they really somehow fell in love with Braj, and he just keeps on bringing me things once or twice a day. Fresh cow's milk from Brijbasi's places and so many things. So anyway, I'm just in a very positive mood now before I go to Mayapur. Yeah. Okay. What else, Gail?
yeah. Well, another thing was,
I have to say, one other point I have to say is the West can be non-different. And the example, one time Jai Pataka gave that example many, many years ago. He said, like when you're in Holland or Netherlands, it's naturally irrigated because it's below the sea level and there's dikes or whatever it is. So it's more natural. But if you're chanting and hearing about it, but if on a mountain, you can also bring the water up and it's the same. You can grow the same vegetables, have the same atmosphere, but it takes that kind of effort.
mm-hmm.
So if one is chanting and hearing and listening to classes and chanting, then it's not different than Vrindavan. And if one's in Vrindavan thinking about better to be in the West and think of Vrindavan, but then be in Vrindavan and think of the West. Our separation is not physical. It's
consciousness. Oh, consciousness.
it's consciousness. And I'm going to Mayapur, and if you speak to Savita, tell her I'm looking to come over to her place at least a couple of times.
Oh,
Last year I didn't burden her because she has arthritis, and it's not like before that she could cook. And I didn't come, and she felt she thought maybe she committed an offense. She's so saintly, but I'm definitely coming.
She would rather give herself more time to prepare for you than you try to you know give
Yeah,
her an out.
I will definitely go. It's one of my treats, going over. My God, first of all, her association. I mean, who is like her? She's just completely filled with bhakti on a very, very high level. And her cooking it's just another world.
Yeah, Shameshri was there a few weeks ago, and
Who?
my daughter, you know. So if you go, you might see her.
Wait. Oh, your daughter is there now. I know. She spoke to Narendran Swami the other day.
Yeah, she'll be there for a little while, for a couple more months probably.
Okay, tell your daughter I'm looking forward to seeing her.
Okay.
Did
You
she
know,
go over to
Maharaj,
Savitri? Did she
yes,
go over to
she,
Savitri?
yeah,
Okay,
yes, she did. Yeah, of course,
okay,
whenever she's in Mayapur, she goes and visits her. Of course,
okay.
that's a non-negotiable.
Okay.
But Maharaj, just quickly, I just wanted to say I had a question, but I also want to make the point that just like Gopkumar's guru, he couldn't utter. He didn't want to say too much. He said some things non-verbally because he didn't want to get lost again.
Yeah.
But that made me think of why Shukadeva Goswami also he couldn't utter
Right.
Radharani's name.
Same thing. He couldn't mention Radharani's name. That's also a very good example. Yeah.
But Mark, the one question was, you know, uh, I think you had said that Krishna told Gokumar that he would relish him more in
Mahakala.
Mahakalapura.
Yeah. I'm really, Gail, I'm trying to figure that out. All I can figure out is that it's also an abode. It's an abode where you merge. It's a abode of liberation, but still God is there, but you have to have the devotional qualifications to see him.
But why you should relish him more there than in Vraj, where his guard is down?
Not Vraj, then Brahmaloka, then Mahapurush, not then Vrindavan.
Oh, oh.
Yeah, I'm glad I clarified that. Okay, and Gail, you're in for a treat today.
Uh,
You know, I think there's going to be incredible katha today. Um,
well,
in
we'll see, Maharaj, because we're very much snowed in here right now, and it's still going strong.
Oh my
You know,
God, so it may not even
yeah.
happen.
So, well, it'll probably happen, but I don't know if it's going to happen for me. You know, we'll see. I'm playing it by ear.
Okay, well, it may not happen because of the snow. Okay, it's going to be a challenge. Okay, what can I do? I tried
Yeah,
my
because
best.
the streets aren't.
Maybe
I mean,
he may not even be able to come.
it's a fact because it's coming down strong, and it's been going strong all night. And as we speak, it's coming down strong. So even my daughter, she had an event, and it's like she had to cancel it.
Yeah, okay. Um, Sri Rupa, I'll give you a call on WhatsApp after the class, okay? If you're there. Okay. Okay, Denny, how you going? How you doing?
Harry Bull. Ross, how are you today?
Okay, how's the snow?
It came down all night last night, but I still made it to work as usual. It's pretty cold. It's only 5 degrees real feel.
Anyway, I saw this documentary about this guy that lived in Siberia in his village and his family died. And then he lost his job and he just went out in the middle of the forest and built himself a place to live self-sufficiently, and it sometimes gets 71 degrees below Fahrenheit. So he had to spend his whole day constantly chopping wood 3 times a day in the snow. And then they did this documentary film about him, and then they got him windows because he only had plastic and it wasn't insulated. So he had to constantly go out and make wood. So we don't have it so bad.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Jai Shri Radhe. Okay, Denny, nice to see you. Jai Shri Radhe.
Hare Krishna, Gurudev.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
It looks pretty snowy out.
Looks nice. We'll have the program.
Do you want to see? We'll show you.
Yeah.
Can you see?
It's not that bad.
No, it's not.
It's like 2 inches. It's fine.
So what was Gail saying that it's so bad?
I don't know. She saw white stuff. And
Maybe it's better in Sayreville than it is in Metuchen. In Metuchen, we see several inches, not 2 inches.
several.
Yes, several.
Maybe 3.
I can see. If I were good with my phone, I could show you the buildup on my patio furniture.
There's 70 kafta balls waiting, so we're gonna have a program today, one way or another.
It's what?
They're thinking about those kafta balls.
I made
They're thinking
70
about the
kafta balls, so we have to have the program, even if Jaya gets less.
Well, just offer it to a picture, and then I'll enjoy it here.
Okay.
We always do, Gurudev.
Maybe that's why I feel so full now. Okay, Haribo.
Hare Krishna.
But it's so nice to host a Vaishnav he's a learned Vaishnav. I took lunch with him in Vrindavan. It was nice. We talked. Okay, Lal and Braja.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
I heard there's even more snow in Tom's River.
I mean, I think there is compared to there, but soup's on the stove, so we're still planning on making it.
Yeah. It's okay. I think the roads will be paved.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Gail freaked me out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it may deter some people, but yeah.
Just to get together for katha and kirtan, even no matter who it is. I heard it was very nice that Jai Subhadra's Haryashva came.
Haryashva is amazing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it was really nice.
Different flavors of Vaishnav. This is what Vaishnav is learned. Lal, you'll like it. A lot of esoteric Gopi Bhav for you.
Oh yeah, we were there last time in New York.
I mean,
he almost followed him out the door. No.
Okay. All right.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Haribo.
Haribo.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else say hello?
Hare Krishna, Gurudev. This is Yavat Sundari.
Okay. Haribo.
Thank you very much for the class.
Okay. Hope to see you in Bṛhad one day.
Yeah, I'm going to get my visa. I have an appointment for the day after tomorrow.
Okay, good. Let us know. Okay.
Maharaj.
Thank you.
Haribo, who else?
This is Yudhisthira, my obeisances.
Haribo, Yudhisthira.
Adriana is
I'm here too. Just being shy. How are you, Maharaj?
Hi, Adriana, nice to hear from you. Great. So nice to see you in New York and that we could spend time together, both on my vyasa-puja and then that nice outing. Great.
Yeah, that was wonderful.
Okay, Haribo.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Sri Radhika here.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Nice wood house has nice. You own that house, right?
Yes, Maharaj.
So that's half yours now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all hers, Maharaj.
What's that?
I said it's all hers.
Look at that. Look at that, Sri Radhika. Right?
Yeah. I I'm so fortunate, Maharaj.
Maharaj, is winter here also? It's 60.
What's that?
It's winter here also. It's 60.
Well, it's also winter here. It's 60, well, no, it gets cold at night here, though.
Yes, Maharaj. Yes.
But it's nice here.
Thank you.
Right now, there's hardly any other people. There's just a few people I know, but it's nice. Yesterday, 2 days ago, I went to Kusum Sarovar, and the original Brahmins who worshipped the deity, that Vraja-Nabha, Krishna great grandson, the original Brahmin family. I went to their house for lunch. Very simple people. Yeah.
Yes,
so, okay.
I miss
Nice.
Vrindavan, Maharaj.
What? What's that?
I miss Vrindavan, Maharaj.
You're not the supreme controller. You can't have everything.
I know, Maharaj. I know, Maharaj, but I need your blessings. Maybe one day again I can.
It's going to be a little while. It's a little tense there with, different countries and things, and so we'll just
Maharaj,
pray.
you bring the Vrindavan to us, Maharaj, when we hear your classes.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Right. You see, that's the attitude.
Yeah.
I have this relationship with her. I get on her case a little bit. She likes it. Okay. Okay. Haribo.
Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. I guess I'll look at the list and thank every single person for coming, and then I'll call Sri Rupa. Okay. Haribo, Vanchakalpa Turibhyasya.